maybe, perhaps.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, we could see her for an hour in chat. Meg might not be thrilled.
Probably not. She's already going to give us a lot of shit for this.
Yeah, probably. But she loves us, right?
That's true. We love you, Meg.
Meg. Wish you were here. I know you're biking or swimming or running before the sun or the ash comes up. So here's the deal. We don't have a big strength block, just a more of a glute engagement piece this week. So still on the deadlift side of things, but we're not deadlifting. So we're doing 4 times through 10 single leg glute bridges per side. I have an option of lifting up your feet, and I'll explain how. Or so raising your foot up, I think, is a more apt description. Followed by, and we'll see how your shoulders feel, Maxine, but 8 push-ups with a dumbbell pull through. So every time you do push-up, you're pulling the dumbbell through. And you can have the dumbbell, we'll talk about the dumbbell placements. Dumbbell placements slightly different for logistics of the push-up. So it's not that much, but we'll make sure that's clear. These can easily be made to a plank pull through, by the way. Just hold the plank and no push-up. If we do that, I would say let's increase the reps if possible. Maybe double it or 1.5 it. So maybe 12 to 16 reps instead. Our second piece is 5 times through 10 Cossack squats per side. The spelling can never spell Cossack, but there it is. 10 Cossack, I never spell check it. Why would I do that? 10 Cossack squats per side. So that's 20 total, but we're going to stay on one side for 10 before we switch, followed by 10 half kneeling overhead presses. It's been a while, so let's do it again. And 8 side plank rotations. So what we did last week, but slightly less reps. And these are all per side, which is really simple. So each movement in the second part is all per side. So I don't have to think about that too much. So to get started, let's just start with our normal floor work. Yeah, set the mat up, Maxine. Get comfy. Perfect. And then we're just gonna start with some cat-cows. It's okay if we're slightly offbeat. I know we're kind of been hi baby. That's the cat, by the way, not you.
I saw her.
The cat has joined us, so my mat has been stolen.
She's gonna do the cat.
Yeah, she stole my mat. She likes the yoga mat too. I'm sure having 10 cat cows. Let's see what I'll probably disturb her. That's okay. Thanks, Cher. See, for sure. Yeah, agreed.
Too.
Next, it's like, no yawning. You're fine. I'm kidding. So after your cat cows, of course, you have our bird dogs next. So that's where you alternate arms and legs. Extend your. You can opt to say take the hand out of the equation and make this a leg only. Lifting up the foot. I know you can't see my feet right now, but we're gonna lifting your foot, keeping your back nice and flat. So you squeeze your butt on that leg you're lifting. Rotate the hip down slightly. So just not up, we're rotating the hip down. Even. Maxine, how is your shoulder?
It's been good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, feel free to for the shoulder. So whether it's the push-up or even planks or the overhead pressing, the usual adjustments.
Yeah. Oh, biscotti.
For the record, I never get this kind of attention.
You gotta soak it up while you can. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For the record, she likes this before you ask.
It's only because, you're trying to be
Professional.
us on Zoom, on the phone.
Can I just quit now? I feel like
Yeah.
no, of course I won't. Okay, so we've done our cat cows, done the bird dogs, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get some rotations. So we're gonna last little piece here. So we're gonna be in our tabletop position. You're gonna rotate the hand towards the ceiling. I'm gonna thread this hand through this gap as much as you're comfortable. Yes. Oh, I know. Is that you? Gonna rotate through. There might be a cat in your way. And then come back up. Thank you for demonstrating so well.
Just wants to help today.
Being so helpful. Let's do 5 per side. Um, so rotating through. I wish I got that kind of affection all the time, but sadly, it's all for show with her. Kidding. You can rotate as much as you want. So the back of your shoulder might touch the ground. It also might not. So whether it's per side or if you find a limit, don't feel like you have to rotate so far that it's causing discomfort. Same thing with the rotating the hand up. You might not get your hand over your shoulder when your hand is in the air. So that's okay. Really, we're just managing your current body's boundaries at the moment. Okay, lovely. Let's get some arm circles next. So you can do this again, kneeling or standing, as long as your arms have room to make full rotation. So I'm going to kneel, but standing is fine. Okay, so thumbs are going to be up. Okay, start small. Gradually make them bigger. It's okay if you're making different size circles. 10 rotations one direction. And you have 10 one direction, or kind of default back to 90 or slightly below if it's feeling too challenging. And same principle, start small. Good. Right. Go forward and back. Easy, nice and light. A little cross, a little tap. Again, stopping before there's any discomfort. A gentle stretch is fine. Good. And let's go thumbs down. These guys. And if you want to rest between any of these particular shapes, that's fine. I'm going to rest because that one's hard.
Why is that so
I'm gonna
hard?
pick. It's internal rotation. That's why it's hard. It's this.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, it's harder. I just imagine people who backstroke. My brain's like,
Yeah. I used to have a good backstroke. Back when my shoulders worked.
yeah, functioning shoulders are, I think, a
Functioning
prerequisite.
shoulders. You need those.
Certainly do.
Oh well.
I mean, you know what though? They're functioning enough for what you need
That's
right
true. Yep, exactly. They get me
now.
through what I need to do.
Exactly. So from here, let's build into our part A. So, or the first portion. So we're just going to start with a 2-footed glute bridge. So we'll talk about the leg lift or the feet elevated, and we could do it with 2 feet. If you don't have anything to put your feet on, that's fine. I tried my couch, sturdy enough. A bench works if you have like a bench press bench. And if you're pushing down on it, so even like a little step stool, as long as you're pushing down, you should be fine. But use a little bit of common sense when setting up here. So what we're gonna do, right, of course, the normal glute bridge is feet on the ground, right? No problem, right? Hips come up, by squeezing your butt, and then back down. We're lifting up the hips, but not so far that they're coming so far. I've changed this back angle on myself, so I'm still gonna be pretty neutral. So if you feel like you're arching your back extra, that's too far. So we're gonna stop when my butt stops contracting or it's done, right? The elevation is gonna be here. So this can be feet elevated. So I have my couch here. I'm gonna push down on it, not forward, and do the same thing. So same principle. I just have more range of motion now. So either of those options are fine. Don't feel like you have to lift the feet. If you can find an option, great. If not, don't worry about it. We'll do our best. But let's just have you practice 10 reps. Again, something sturdy, but you are going to be pressing down. Please don't press. If you're using a couch, don't press forward unless it's against a wall because it'll move. Let's go 5 to 10. We're just practicing here. When you do 5 to 10, double. That's 2-footed glute bridges. Whether your feet are elevated or not, it's a bonus if you want it. The single leg version is very similar. It's a single leg. So while you're on the floor, I'm not gonna have you get up again. Let's practice 4 per side. Okay, 4 per side. Again, whether your feet are elevated or on the ground is up to you. The foot elevated on the sofa or the bench or whatever else, same idea. This foot can still be, I'm working my left leg, that's one closest to the screen. And I'm gonna drive. This is okay, my right foot touches the box, but as I drive, it's not really doing anything, not helping. Bit of a prop, right? So we're gonna be doing potentially one leg at a time. Again, if you're doing it on the ground, same idea. We're just gonna keep the feet planted on the ground instead of on your sofa. Let's go 4 per side, please. Yeah. And it's okay if your range of motion or your hip extension, how much your hips go up, changes per leg when you're doing a single leg glute bridge. The idea is we're not pushing down on the floor or on our object, we're squeezing our butt to lift our hips. So very glute and hamstring heavy. Once you figure 4 reps, come back to at least to the screen if you can. Okay, so the push-up in with the dumbbell pull-through, we've done these separately, of course. The pull-through being typically the dumbbells behind my wrist. I'm in my plank shape and I'm grabbing it across, right? If I'm doing a push-up, that gets kind of awkward if my dumbbell's on top of my hip where I'll land on it. So it's gonna be slightly farther to the side, not by much, just maybe a half of the step or half of an inch. So instead of directly behind my wrist, it's just slightly outside. That's all. So slowly do my push-up. So I'm gonna come down, do my push-up, right? Then move the dumbbell, and then push up, move my dumbbell. And we're going to total of 8 reps. Every rep is going to be a pull through, right? So if we can't, we can also just separate those 2 movements. If a pull through is what you can do, great. If you can't do a push up, or if all you can do is a push up, but ideally put them together. Any questions? Okay. If you need to modify volume or difficulty, please do so. Let's start with our glute bridges. I know we just stood up, but we're starting on glute bridges. Single leg glute bridges, foot elevated is an option if you have it. 10 per side, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone starts to feel this in the knees or I say extra, it's feeling a little bit closed off on the knee angle, it's okay to relax your foot position. You look good in a reset, but this is more just a general comment to anyone doing this. If you want this, if you feel like your knees are taking more of a hit, or you're having trouble engaging, chances are your foot's too close to your butt, a smidge. So we're looking for something where, a distance where you can feel it back here and not here, right? That might depend on person to person. Okay. There's nothing wrong with keeping your feet close to your butt, but it does make it harder for me to lift my hips up personally. So makes it more of a quad biased movement. All right. So closer your feet are to your butt, the more quaddy, more front of the leg you get. You can go too far the other direction if you're too far. You're looking for it's a little hamstringy. This one somewhere in the middle is usually glutes and hamstrings. Once you have 10 per side, we have the 8 push-ups. Any assistance you need, bending the knees is fine. Or if you need to just elevate the push-ups, we can just elevate the push-ups. No need to do the pull through. We're elevating the hands. Yeah, there you go. Yep, you're reaching across. So if it's under your left hand, you're reaching across to pull it, right? Nice job. Every pull through or push up is 1 rep. I'm gonna rest if you need to between stations or movements. And repeat this a total of 4 times. Nice job. Yeah, if you want to add complexity or difficulty, you can always elevate your feet. Nikki's wondering why we're not talking.
Looks like why is it silent?
Because Maxine and Arisa are working really hard. That's why. He was like, nice job. Excellent. You should clarify too with the pull through, you don't, whatever object you're pulling, whether it's a dumbbell, can of beans, something you can grab with one hand. Okay. Does not need to be excessively heavy either. It can be. But it's not required to be a big heavy object. Just something you grab one-handed. And that won't roll away from you. Nice. Are you on 3 now?
Just finished 3.
Thank you. I was just sort of guessing, approximating. Nice. I like your voice coming out of nowhere, Maxine. Just I know you're there, but it's kind of like, yep, got 3.
I'm here. I promise.
Still here.
Doing stuff.
Doing stuff. It's like when your kids are quiet and you're like, why is it quiet? You're when you know something horrific has happened because it's silent in the house. A mother always knows. There's like a spidey sense. You're like, oh, something went down. Let's go find out.
Yep.
Or it's
Trouble
about
is
to
afoot.
happen. There you go. Big butt squeeze, lift the hips. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't come through the screen and save you.
Come on, Kirstie.
My speaker training doesn't work virtually. Last time I checked.
God, I was a tickle in my throat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it.
I think you'll be fine. I mean, Arisa's just straight up taking a break, as you should. You're totally fine. Please do. Just don't fall asleep. That's my only request. Just laying down.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
did give you 2 laying down movements. So, I mean, I guess it's on me. I gave you 2 movements where you're just flat on the floor. No resting. Resting's fine. No sleeping. It's like in yoga classes where they're like, you're doing the deep breathing and they're like, and we're being present. And I'm just like, I can't.
Wait, what?
I am the worst. I can't go to these classes. They wrap you in a blanket. They tell you to breathe deeply and I'm passed out.
Out. Out. That's the end.
So I do yoga on my own and I sleep in my own bed. It just seems works better for everybody.
Look, I'm doing yoga.
I do try and do like some, I mean, not Joseph's full, yoga. I mean, I do that, but like
Yeah.
more often than not, it's like 1 or 2 sun salutations, like right before I go out of bed.
Nice.
So at least while the cat waits impatiently. But at least it gets me. It's an honest reflection of how my body is working. First thing in the
That's a good
morning.
one.
Um, you show. How are the push-ups, Maxine? Are they okay?
Yeah.
Good. Did you lift your feet up or no on the glute?
Oh, the glute, but no, I don't.
Yeah,
I
I know
don't
it's
have
tough.
anything. Yeah. So,
Logistically, it's
but
a
I
bit
did do
challenging.
one leg. Yeah.
Yeah, one leg is fine. Mostly it's
Yeah.
like I like the foot elevated if it's an option. It's by no means a requirement. I realize logistically too can be a bit challenging.
Yeah.
Um, if you don't have anything to put it on, right?
Yeah.
Um, like I said, if you have something like a little step stool, as long as you're pressing down, you're good, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is actually not bad feedback. If you're pushing forward, you're pushing the wrong direction anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not that I
That makes
recommend
sense.
anyone, you know,
Yeah, I thought we had a little step stool, but I don't.
that's all right. This is the
Mhm.
first time that I've introduced this iteration of it before. So
Yeah.
if it shows up again, great. Again, it's an option. I don't assume people have something to put their feet on.
Yeah.
I assume you'll have some kind of weight or like something to carry, whether it's in a dumbbell form or in a backpack or a bag. But I don't
Yeah.
necessarily assume they have, like a bench to put their foot on or even a couch, right? Some people have that option, some people don't. That's just 4 rounds, right? So you're good. Yeah, okay, lovely. So we have our workout piece is 5 times through. Again, 10 reps per side, the Cossack squat. I'll show you from my hips down because it's easier. But it's a lateral squatting position. So when
That's
I'm
right.
squatting, again, depth is going to be less of a specific height because we're going to have different legs and different sides, but we're going to be doing 10 per direction, meaning 10 on one side before we go 10 on the other. You, of course, can rest if you want to rest. And you're always going to come back to center, right? Meaning bringing your weight back to the middle. So essentially from here, your feet can be turned out or forward. Mine's somewhere in the middle. So it's not like full turn out. It's not fully forward. Somewhere in the middle of those two things. I'm going to squat in this direction. It's a little low. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back. Right. So I'll show you from the front first. That's one. Right, I can turn this foot up if I want. You don't have to, you can. Again, this knee is still tracking over the feet, so that's fair game. There's no like weird collapse. From the side, I'm sitting back. I'm still gonna sit like I'm squatting, like a squat. And you might notice per side, there's a difference, whether it's in flexibility. This is feeling a little better, but this is feeling a little tighter. So that releasing this foot allows me to sit a little deeper. I will say if you do release foot, it does stretch the adductor, this inseam. So do be careful. Do not pull your groin. I'm not responsible for this. So you can either foot down or not. We're doing 10 reps per direction, followed by your half kneeling overhead press, right? So remember half kneeling is this guy taking a knee. Okay, easy. Overhead press is your weight of some kind overhead. So you can go, I have my left leg bent in front, my right leg down. You can go, I didn't say specifics, how to load this. So you can have your bent knee, right? So, or you can have your leg in front or the leg down. I'm not really picky. I think pick whatever you like. All right, that's your second movement. And the side plank rotations we did last week. So real quick, we're on our sides. So side plank can be full side plank. It could be knee down, right? Do both knees, right? Either way, we're gonna be side plank, hands above the shoulders, rotate, can't see it, through this gap, or without rotating the hip. So we're keeping the hip rotating and coming back. So if my hip rotates backwards, or I'm rotating the foot where I feel like I'm gonna flip over, it's too far. We're doing 8 per side there. So let's start with our Cossack squats. So we're gonna come to standing first. We'll see how it goes. I have 5 rounds written. I think it's gonna be okay. But if you get to 4 and you're like, it's enough, thank you, you can stop. So 10 Cossack squats per direction. So pick a leg, squat to that side 10 times. You can rest and then squat to the side 10 times. And feel free to adjust your stance. So if you're a taller person, have longer legs, you might need a little more room. Okay. you need to hang on to something. Have a bench or something in front of you just to grab on, just in case. Not a bad idea. About 10 per direction. Lifting that opposite foot, the non-squat leg, is an option, not a requirement. Once you've done your 10 reps per direction, you're going to be doing take a knee if that feels okay. Otherwise, nice padding. You can also just sit. So if you can't take a knee, a seated overhead press is fine. Sounds exactly like it is. You sit down and press. Whether you're sitting on the ground like I am or sitting on something like a couch or a chair. If taking a knee doesn't feel great, seated is fine. Or you see you're doing great. You don't have to bicep curl every time. You can. The press is just here to here. And like I said, I like the bicep curl actually, especially if the weight's a little lighter, just gets a little extra. But doing a bicep curl every single rep is not required. A little extra pump, I'm into it. Let's do it. Why not? Like I said, whether the arm you're lifting versus the legs that are positioned, it's whatever is most comfortable, right? If your right knee is forward and you're using your left arm, that's contralateral, fancy words. If your right leg's forward, using your right arm, so same, your front leg, you're pressing with that arm, that's ipsilateral. At least I think it is. Same-sided. In this case, both are correct. After your 10 per side, half kneeling or seated overhead press, that's per direction or per side, we're doing 8 side plank rotations, again, per side. If you need to hold a side plank, that's fine. The side plank can be done with the bottom knee down if we need a slightly less challenging version. The rotation is a nice bonus if you can tolerate that rotation. The goal is to be feeling this movement kind of in the under of this armpit. So kind of right here. Maybe a little posterior, slight rotator cuff piece on the supporting arm. And this is a movement that can be weighted. I would say if you're going to add weight to this, something very light to start, a couple pounds or less. As we're both in round number 2. I will say for anyone with you're at home and you only have one weight and it feels really light, it's okay if it doesn't. Ways we can make this slightly more challenging is pausing in both the bottom and the top position or pausing. So whether you're pausing here, right? Or You're pausing with your hands, sorry, I can't see, above your head. Hold, hold, right? You can kind of make your 10 pounds, 5 pounds, your lighter dumbbell. If you only have one option or limited options, slightly more challenging, but in a good way, if that's feeling really easy to you. As you're squatting to that single leg, go ahead, keep the toes and the heels down. So you're doing great, Lisa. But in general, toes and heels down on that squat foot. The other foot, the leg you're not squatting to, the one you're leaning away from, can turn up if you want it to.
Okay, I gotta run to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that you're tall enough, Maxie, when you kneel, you see the top of your bun. It brings me a lot of joy.
Oh,
I can always see
good.
it coming. It's like, boop, we have a bun. She
We have a
popped
bun.
up a bun.
She's there. She's alive.
Well, I figured. I hope so anyway. I mean, if it's like we, it gets to the point where like, oh, it's been 20 minutes. I think might want to check.
Where'd she go? Somebody
Where'd
call
she
her.
go? Just crawled away, just into your house, just leave. Just onto the computer. Never happened.
Peace out.
Well, that's an Irish goodbye for you. Rude. Okay. Meg would definitely give you a hard time for that. Hold that.
For sure. Oh,
Nice. Do you have any events coming up, Maxine, or are you kind of just
oh yeah. So I just did metric century Sunday.
cool?
Yep. Survived. It was good.
Yeah.
Then I have what's next? Santa Cruz 70.3 is next.
Ooh, that's a
Wow.
fun one.
Yeah. And then I'll have the Sacramento Century. That I'll do the full century.
Yeah.
And then Ironman in California in October.
Woo.
So yeah.
I know Nikki's super bummed he can't go, but we have our very close friends.
Yes. I know.
Yeah. It's not something where you could be like, nah, we're distantly related.
It's not something where he could buy you a bike and get out of it. That was the joke. That was the running joke.
I'm not totally opposed to this idea. The only problem, Maxine, is I can't think of another bike that I could even conceptually need
Yeah.
or want. My brain's like, what? Personally, like I don't have interest in track. I don't have interest in TT bikes. I don't have interest in BMX bikes. I don't have interest in like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
You've got everything you need.
Maybe
So,
I could, you know what? If you paid for an upgrade, I'd be okay with an upgrade. Like as in like a component upgrade.
right.
Like so
Yeah.
the bikes I currently have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for that.
Well,
Maybe a spare wheel set. And go spare wheel set.
probably too late to have this discussion.
Gary deferred, I guess. So technically it's next
Yeah.
year. Yeah, okay. Fine.
Oh well.
What do you mean it's
Good
too
to
late to
know
start
if it
training
never
for full
happens again.
Ironman? How many months do you really need anyway? I'm kidding.
He's been
I
trending.
know.
It's fine.
You're talking about how you can buy me a spare wheel set and then you can not go to mouse fighting instead. Kidding. I'm kidding. No, you're doing an Ironman.
Next year.
Sorry, Nikki's here. I'm
Hi, Nikki.
Good morning.
not talking to a random.
Do I see pink weights?
Yeah.
Super weights.
Yeah, you do.
Can we spray paint our dumbbells pink?
As long as those are adorable.
I've
As
just
long
got
as
the
they're-
little ones today. Try not to kill myself.
Good choice, especially with the overhead stuff. I know that's
Yeah. But you know, the range of motion on this one is so much better.
yeah, it's improving.
Look at that.
Which shoulder did you mess up? Was it your right shoulder?
Left.
The left one. I mean, my right one, I had surgery on in my early 20s.
Hmm.
So that was messed up. And then the left one is the one that I broke 2+ years ago.
What did you actually break? Was it your collarbone?
No, the ball, like the top of my humerus.
Oh,
So the
wow.
ball in my shoulder. Yeah.
No big
Yeah.
deal. I'm kidding. That's huge. That's horrific. I'm sorry to hear that.
It was awful.
Bubble wrap.
Yeah.
That's what Nikki said after
Do you crash? Yes.
I my bike disappeared
No, your bike's still here.
out from under me.
Well, thank you for not crashing in France.
Thank you for not crashing in France, he says. You're welcome.
Glad you're
I
back.
think
I maxed out my hamstrings just like this. I'm like, ow. Ow. Little squats. Stupid.
just curious. I know you're slightly in slightly different paces. Which set are you on?
I think this is the start of 4 for me.
Beautiful. Great. Let's stick with 4.
Okay.
Let's be honest, we got a little
Yeah.
chatty, which
Hey.
okay.
We did
But
get a little chatty today.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll try and I'll have to do my best. I'll have to do better, like reining it in a little because I'm also like equally like, tell me more. What's going on? How's it going?
Well, I haven't heard about your trip, so you know,
That's
fair
true.
game.
That's true. Note to self, eat food when it's hot. Honestly, I think really though, I was like, I need to supplement my own nutrition. If I do this, something like this again, because I always have the same snacks, which is helpful. So at least it's
Yeah.
consistent and you kind of know what to expect. But I don't like chewing on the bike. It's too hard,
Yeah.
even on a good day, like on a cool day. So like give me like 90 grams of carbs and a pack of gels, call it a day, not
Yeah.
touching it for an hour.
That's what's awesome about those precision ones. The 90 grams. Yeah, I just had that in my
I
back
just
jersey,
packed
pull it
those-
out, like just great.
Oh yeah.
Lasts a while. I did have a mishap with one. I got like folded up and then some squirted out in my pocket. And so I just like reached in and it was just like sticky. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, and then you're
Thankfully
like,
that was the end. Like the
And you're
last
like-
10 miles. I was like, okay.
can't take your hand off the handlebar then like
Yeah.
you could, I guess. But you're like, ah, and you're like, one hand on the handlebar, you're like,
Oh no, that was before the last rest stop. So I like get off. I'm like rinsing my hand under the water. Trying
well,
to
you can
fix
wash
it.
your like wipe your handlebar down too.
Yeah.
Stuck
So
your hand on the
gross.
handlebar. It's disgusting. Yeah, that's fair.
But those gels are great.
Whatever
Alright, what am I
moving
doing? Okay.
on. Let's finish that one. So whatever it is, like I said, that's on me time wise. But for anyone doing this, not on the time constraints, by all means, finish 4 rounds. And if you feel like I've been upping the rounds, meaning we've kind of been sitting in that 4 round range or 4 set range, if you feel like you have the capacity to do 5, go for it. If you feel like 4 is enough for what you need, whether it's where you are in your training, where your body's currently at, you've had a good input, or frankly, you're just out of time, 4 is okay. All right, we're going to try and consistently get towards 5 on certain things, not everything. So 5 sets in this case. So 5 sets is a maximum, but the goal is to get around 4. For my people in person, it is 7 o'clock, hence the, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's 4.
That was 4. You and Maxine are about the same pace. So you're good. If you need to hop off and hop on again, back onto a virtual meeting, it is 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I told you, like, time. So if you have to like click bye, I won't take offense.
Yeah.
Um,
I probably do.
I have a run to do.
but you don't have to go. Just saying.
Okay, it's time. Yes. Well, time flies when we're having fun.
Exactly.
It does. Nice job today. I know it wasn't we didn't deadlift. We got some good, hopefully, some little glute and hamstring activation. So when we deadlift next time, or next time you go to pick something up, so you're like, oh, oh yeah, those things. Haha. Use them. It's good. Right?
Okay.
Go for a walk, drink some water, eat protein, all the good things. And I will hopefully see you two next week. Or anyone else.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kirstie.
Take care.
Bye.